Okay, hi Livy, welcome back.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you this week?
I'm good.
Good. So do you remember what we talked about last time I saw you?
I know that we got down like a rabbit hole and I think we delved a little deeper into my problem that was less my plan and more just figuring out the plan. So we talked about Trent and how he plays into my future and kind of, I think we brainstormed some things about like how I can bridge the gap
Yeah.
and kind of tie those lines of communication with him.
Yeah. I remember, wasn't it finding lines of communication with Trent and just things that will help you feel better prepared for your future in general? Was that it?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay. So, great. So, actually wrote down some of those ideas from last week. So, we had like choosing a city, excuse me, having a conversation with Trent about the future, looking more into your job prospects and where you might take your RD exam after graduation, looking into the cost of living or where you'll be, and yes, you also had mentioned things like getting your own car insurance and your own cell phone plan. So those are on the horizons for you, right?
Yeah, those aren't really the issue. It was just kind of a factor that's going to play into eventually, but I don't really want to talk about that. I don't think that's relevant. So.
Cool. Well, today I was thinking we could just revisit your ideas and kind of evaluate them, because last time we did brainstorming non-judgmentally. This time let's have you kind of think about what the best ideas were.
Okay.
Come up with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think like the most obvious one is like that conversation with Trent. I would really like to figure out the best way to kind of like, instill some urgency in the boy. And then I think like choosing a city, like those would be my top two, because I can't really look into jobs until I've done those two things. And same with the like RD exam, like I need kind of a general idea of what's gonna happen before I can like schedule it,
Yeah, and this was the problem, right? I mean, these were things you were worried about, but everything's up in the air until you and Trent kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in terms of that conversation with Trent, how do you visualize that going? If it were to go well for you, what would the outcome look like?
Well, if it went my way, we would end up in San Diego. But realistically, like it would just, we would have the conversation, and then we would have a solidified plan of whether we're staying in Moscow or we're going somewhere else by January.
By January.
By January.
Okay.
Like that includes him applying to grad school, knowing about it, which I don't even know what the timeline on that is, but I think that's fairly realistic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you think that would be one conversation or maybe a series of conversations?
Probably multiple. I think it would start with a conversation, which I guess I didn't. I was just there this weekend, and so we did talk about it a little.
Great. How did that go?
It went really well. We came up with like kind of a plan, because he's going to be here for Thanksgiving for a week, that during that time we're going to look into grad school for him and just start making the motions to get him applied and at least have an idea of when we would find out.
Okay.
So that I am a little more comfortable knowing like, okay, I'm gonna know by April or I'm gonna know by February. So, which I thought was really good. But I mean, we still need to have a lot larger of a conversation than we had. It was pretty brief and fleeting. So.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, so we've got some ideas on that. So what I want to move into next is identifying strategies that you can go about having this conversation, and maybe ways that you can bring it up, or things that you would like to say to him. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think bringing it up, I probably need to, he's really stressed out with school right now, so I don't want to add more onto his plate. So I want to do it delicately, which I'm terrible at. I'm a very confrontational person, and if I have an issue, I just say it. And so I think that it would be good if I could come up with some sort of, I don't know, like more delicate approach than I usually take in these situations.
What would your approach usually look like? I'm curious.
Like I'd be like, hey, I need a plan. I'm stressed out. Like, what are we doing? Are you going to grad school? Are you getting a job? What's the plan? Like that would be basically how I'd approach it. Maybe a little less sassy, but probably just as
But
sassy.
very direct.
It would be very direct.
Okay.
Versus like a
Yeah,
softer way of doing
how could
that.
you say it in a softer way?
Maybe like, have you talked to anyone about grad school lately? Is that still something that we're thinking about? That you're thinking about? Is it, and if not, do you want to start looking for jobs together and look for jobs, so that then they're at least near each other, so we can kind of migrate in the direction of not living 6 hours apart all the time?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that sounds good. That's kind of a lot to say at first, but if that's a better way to approach it than, maybe a more direct or confrontational statement.
Yeah.
Like that.
And I could probably shorten that, make it less lengthy, but
Okay.
yeah, maybe something like that. Which isn't, to me, it feels natural. I can be delicate if I need to, but it's also kind of.
Yeah, you're pushing him to kind of make a decision or give you some answers.
I want him to, but I don't want to be too pushy, you know what I mean? Like I want it to be, which I think that felt not so pushy. Did you?
Yeah, that felt very natural.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great start for that. So that's one approach you could take. Do you think that will fit best for this situation?
I think so.
Yeah.
I do. I think so. Yeah. I'm trying really hard not to, like I said, stress him out because,
Right,
I
which is
don't
very
want
thoughtful
this
of
to
you.
be stressful for him, and it shouldn't really be stressful for me. I'm just a lot more type A than he is, which is good, but, and he's just, he's really stressed out already with school, so I don't want to be that extra stressor.
But it sounds to me, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like you just need to communicate your needs too.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that necessarily.
Yeah, okay.
So.
I don't think so either. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, tangent. But great, so I think that's a great strategy to just talk to him that way. So can we now kind of form that into a specific goal for yourself? So what we want to do is make it a SMART goal. You may have heard of these. It's a goal that needs to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely.
Oh.
So yeah, there's a lot that goes into making a SMART goal. But what is one specific, we want to take action. So for now, let's just work on one goal. What's something specific you can do to have this conversation the way you would like to
So I already kind of started, so maybe if we make this my Thanksgiving goal. So I want to encourage Trent to further explore grad school opportunities. So that we can make a plan or have a better idea, I guess, rather, of where we're going to be in May by November 27th, I think is the end of that week.
By November 27th.
Mm-hmm.
Great, that's a very specific, very timely goal. Okay, so you've come up with your SMART goal, and we've kind of put a timeline in place. So the last part of this is just kind of holding yourself accountable to making it happen. Is it something that you're ready to commit to doing for sure?
Yes, I am.
Great.
I'm
You're
committed.
gonna take
It's
some
ready.
action?
I'm ready. Yep.
Great. So we're gonna do a little contract. If you wanna just sign your name on the line, and hopefully the next time we see each other, we'll have something to talk about. Hopefully
Okay.
this conversation goes well.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So we've talked about some strategies that you can use. You've come up with a SMART goal based on those strategies.
I'm ready
And-
to take action.
You're ready.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Libby.
We both went like a minute over, but.
That's all right.